Hello, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We are live. So today I'll talk about $0 to $1 million in 30 days. One of the stores that we have scaled from 0 to 1 million. I have a full case study on my YouTube channel. You can comment case study or DM me case study. I'll send you the whole video. But basically, I want to share with you the creative strategy that I have used there and my team used there in order to get these results, in order to scale pretty rapidly with this store. I can't guarantee you'll be able to scale from 0 to 1 million. Obviously, all of that will depend on many different factors, but that's what worked for me. That's a process that we use right now, like in every single one of our stores. The creative sourcing process, the creative testing, the iterations that we are testing. So all of the things that come into creating these profitable ads, pretty much at the end of the day, it's just profitable ads. And I want to share with you what has worked for me. The whole process, I'll have the whole presentation. Again, it will be pain in the ass to share on my screen because I have it here on my screen. But you guys give me feedback if it's something I have to move around in order for you to see. And if you want the whole presentation from this video, please DM me. If you're on Instagram, please DM me doc, D-O-C, D-O-C, and then I'll send it to you, the whole presentation with all of the resources. I have links to specific like ads, examples, those strategy from start to finish so that you can start ramping it out yourself. For those of you who are first time here, my name is Alex Fedotov. I've been in e-commerce for the last 8 years. Generated over $100 million in sales, which is, doesn't mean that doesn't mean shit. E-commerce is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So, but I'm here to share my experience, what worked for me, and help you guys to avoid some of the mistakes that I have made, so that you can make money with your ads, you can scale them profitably, and that's the purpose of this video. Please just drop one in the chat, so I know that you can hear me okay, and then I'll start sharing my screen so that you can see my screen and you can see the whole presentation from start to finish. Please just drop one in the chat, either it's on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and I'll start sharing my screen. All right, 111. Awesome. Doc, please just DM me because this whole conversation was the live. All of the comments will disappear after this live, so please just DM me directly. DM me on my Instagram profile. For those of you on Instagram or Twitter, my Instagram is Alex Fedotov. It's here. I'll just make it on screen. Alex Fedotov. That's my only Instagram profile. Please just DM me, Doc, and I'll send you this whole document with all of these, strategies step by step. So many ones. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it so much. I'll try to make it as valuable as possible for you. It's literally step by step breakdown. So I'm very excited to share it with you. And I will start sharing my screen now. And you guys let me know if it's displays properly for you. Let me start sharing my screen. All right, sharing my screen right now. Let me know if it displays properly in the center of the screen. I'll just be watching as well to see how it displays. All right, let me know if it's visible. All right, yeah, I think it is visible. I'll try to move it a little bit here so that it's centered. All right, so pretty much there's few stages, right? Like in creative testing, and creative is like number one factor when it comes to scaling ads, right? And making your ads profitable or more profitable. So that is something that you really have to master if you want to do well with your ads. And a lot of people, they just start with one ad or they test few ads and the product doesn't convert, and they kind of like get disappointed, they get frustrated. Oh, product is saturated, product doesn't work, and they move to some other things, right? Oh, it's like, well, let's switch the product is saturated. And then you see at the same time, there's some people in the market that still crushing with that same product. And then you're asking yourself, okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference between those people and me? And difference is most of the times is creative. So number one phase, right? That's where most people start, is you want to test different videos and images. And the variables here could be like 2-3 unique videos. That's what I recommend to start with. Don't start with one. Have at least 2 to 3 unique videos. Have 2 to 3 different types of videos, right? So let's say you have testimonial, you have product demonstration, and ideally you also want to have different ad types. For some products like jewelry, you only have to show the product, right? If people like the design, if people like the product itself, then it might be enough for people to make a purchasing decision. If you're selling something like a gadget or like a cream or something that requires like more education, then you need to utilize videos. And that is something that you just have to keep in mind depending on the type of the product. What I like to do is I like to do competitive research first, kind of like identify what are the other ads on the market of my competitors, how well those ads are doing, so that gives me like a good indication in terms of what kind of creative I have to produce. Either it's images and image production, like recently with tools like Midjourney, tools like DALL-E. There's many different tools that are AI that you can use to generate mockups like very fast, literally like in few minutes you can have creatives done, right? And you can also make photos with your phone, so that will help you to pretty much have some initial content to test your products. But if you are selling, again, if you're selling something more complex like gadget or cream, then you will need to use videos, right? So one thing here to note is that you want to test one variable at a time. So if we test creatives, we don't test new ad copy, new headlines, or like new targeting together with it. We have the same targeting option, and then we're placing different ads, and we want to see which ads resonates the best with that audience. After 2 to 4 days, the results should be clear. The best ad creatives would have the lowest CPC and CPMs, so they would have also the highest click-through rate and ROAS. And you will see that difference. Usually it's pretty significant if your creatives are different enough. So what you want to do is you want to test pretty different variations of your creative initially in order to identify that winner. And if by any chance your data is almost identical, you can continue further testing both ad creative in the following steps, right? So in that case, you can pretty much continue to the second stage of this process. I want to show you some of the great examples of ads. This is from the company called Rise Superfoods, right? This company here, let me see, let me try to center it on my screen. It will be probably pretty challenging to center. Let me try to do it for you guys, right? So here, let's say this piece of content, let me move it around. And I always use this tool, that disclaimer. I personally invested in this tool. It's called Get Hooked, but I absolutely love it. It has some great features. So guys, let me know if you can see my screen. I tried to center it on the screen. All right. So yeah, you should be able to see my screen here. And I will record like a separate YouTube video as well. So it will be on in a horizontal format. Will be easier for you guys to see. But this is the ad, right? The ad. Three ways stress is draining your energy, right? So, and what you can do about it, like the same person's talking, and the video is covering like different pieces of content here, like different B-roll pieces. You can see the person seems like frustrated. And so the text here on screen, which kills your motivation, energy, and mood, needs to be matching with what you have on screen. This is what's very important, to have that congruency between what you show on screen. So if it says which kills your motivation, energy, and mood, you have to have the same kind of content on screen. You can see disrupts your natural sleep cycle. You can see the person that cannot fall asleep. And so this is the ad. Pretty much like kind of like the person is reading the script, but it's also not boring. Person's not just like looking at the screen and reading the script, but it's covered with different pieces of B-roll. B-roll is pretty much like a piece of video that is displaying on screen. It could be something like stock content, or it could be some lifestyle videos that are showing on screen. And you can see the person is like selling the product. Like you can see, again, boost energy levels, improve sleep. And then you see the person in the gym exercising, which means, person probably having, good time and in good shape, has energy to exercise. So the content always has to match what you have on screen. This is one example here. I'll show you another example also from the same company, right? The same company, the same product. So you just see the different variations of content that you have to produce. And sometimes, you have to test, different type of creators. So for example, here you have lady. On the previous one, there was a man, right? And again, the content that you have on screen needs to be matching the script that you have on screen. So if you're working with video editors, or if you're editing the ads yourself, you always have to keep that in mind and have to give them the feedback on the editing. You can see the person is happy here, no more bloating, kind of like shows the person that has no bloating. A happy person, no more jitters or crashes, matching, right? So you have the image of the happy person here. You have the, kind of matching copy on screen. And so that's how the videos should be structured. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making. They just put like random content in there. And it's something that kind of like the ad loses all of its efficiency. I managed to lose 4 pounds in 1 week. So another person, you can see different actors, right? Different ethnicities, different age, men, ladies, different formats, right? So this way, you're hitting different sections of your market. One of the big mistakes that people are making is that they are just utilizing the same type of creator for all of their ads. So if it's men, they only use men. If it's ladies, they only use ladies. But this way, you're not hitting different segments of the market, because some people will respond well to the ladies, some people will respond well to the men selling the product. And you have to have that variety if you want to scale your ads. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. I know it's advanced stuff, right? It's not something that you would start with like right away. But if it was this right away, then you'll have a great advantage over your competition. And by the way, if you want my free 8-page guide on how to create winning video ad creatives, just DM me creative and I'll send it to you for free. Just DM me creative on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, please DM me creative and I'll send it to you for free. So this was the first stage, right? The first stage, we're testing different variations. We're seeing kind of like what resonates with an audience, what gets the best results, what gets the best click-through rate, what gets the best ROAS, what gets us sales, right? Kind of getting that initial indicator. Phase number 2 is testing scroll stoppers. Once you identify your winning ad creative, we want to test more variables with that same creative to maximize its ROAS. And specifically, the next phase is testing different scroll stoppers. And scroll stopper, like simply put, is the first 3-5 seconds of your ad. And this comes before testing different thumbnails and ad copy, right? So scroll stoppers are more important than testing different thumbnails or ad copy. And so here's an example of Coconut, which is 8-figure health brand, beauty brand, testing different scroll stoppers for the same ad creative. Let me show you examples of that. Here you have these ads, right? So you can see reduce wrinkles and sagging in just 1 hour, right? So you can see the scroll stopper here, product shown, like different kind of the split screens with different actors. The same one here, different actors. Everyone is using this anti-aging bump, right? So we're at 3 seconds, and then the person is talking clinical beauty filler, right? Clinical beauty filler. The person is talking to the camera. Again, reduce wrinkles and sagging in just 1 hour. The content on screen is matching the captions that you have. Again, super important. One of the most important things when it comes to testing different ads is to have the content matching the content that you have on screen. All of the benefits of the product. The ad is only 23 seconds, right? Which is relatively easy to put together. Now, if we take this one here, erases wrinkles without losing your facial expression, right? This, boom. The rest of the ad is the same, right? You can see like only the first 3 seconds are different, and then the rest of the ad is literally the same. This is what scroll stopper is, like the first 3-5 seconds of your ad. So if you have that winning ad, you have to just double down on testing different variations of it. Another variation here, you won't believe this is not a professional treatment, right? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, boom, we're switching to the main section. Main section is completely the same, right? So once you start studying all of these, once you start studying all of these brands that are successful, that are advertising a lot, you'll find that many of them have variations of their ads with different scroll stoppers. Once you find something that's working, you just have to double down on that winning core video, but have different scroll stoppers at the beginning of it. So I'm 40, but this helps me look like 25, right? Boom, 3-5 seconds, the main ad. 3-5 seconds, the main ad, right? So just here, we reviewed like the same, literally the same ad, but with 4 different variations at the beginning. And so what that can help you to do is that can help you to turn one winning ad that you have into like 3, 4, 5 winning ads, or maybe even 10 ads, right? Depending on how many scroll stoppers you test. And that will allow you to scale your ads. When people are talking about like, how do I scale my ads? This is how you scale your ads. Literally, this is how you scale your ads, by testing more variations of the content. And again, guys, if you want my free 8-page guide on how to create the best creative scroll stoppers, thumbnails, and ad copy, just DM me creative. DM me on Instagram. Just hit my profile, DM me creative, and I'll send it to you for free. I'll also send you the document from this presentation so that you can start implementing this right away. Phase number 3 is testing thumbnails. So after 2-3 days, you should be able to identify the best scroll stoppers for your creatives. Now we do the same thing, but with thumbnails. So here's an example of Rice Superfoods testing different thumbnails for their image ads. And notice how they keep every other variable the same. Again, we're using Get Hooked to save all of these ads. Once you save them to Get Hooked, literally, they're saved there forever. Whereas if you're using Ad Library, those ads might be gone and you might not be able to see them anymore. So Get Hooked will allow you to save. Literally, I mean, the library there is like over 4 million different ads that you can save. So we reviewed the first one, banner, another one, banner. So you can see Rice is powered by functional mushrooms and adaptogens. The same copy here as well, powered by functional mushrooms and adaptogens. So the same ad copy, literally the same ad copy, just different banner image. These banner images, you can create like them relatively fast. Like you can even have them like templated so that you can create, many variations for them in the future. So literally will allow you to just streamline your content. And please just DM me, like click on my profile, DM me creative. I'll send you all of these resources. I see some questions in the chat. Another example here. Again, right? The copy is the same, just different banner. So you want to have as many different variations of your content as possible. That's how you scale. Like if you just get this one concept, once you have some traction with your ads, once you get to like few $100s a day with your ads, you have to be laser focused on testing more variations of your ads, because that's the variable that will allow you to scale your business, be more profitable, just maintain that momentum, and will allow you to make money. That's how you make money with e-commerce. So phase number 4, testing ad copy. So lastly, we test the ad copy after identifying the best thumbnail or the best image. And every different ad copy you test should go with the same creative, the same winning scroll stopper, and the same winning thumbnail. So you want to be testing one variable at a time. So here's an example of the brand called Kiwi testing different ad copy for the same image ad, right? So Look here. Come on, it's time to go in with your application to be the 2024 winning world hacker, right? So this is actually like a carousel. So here, right, the ad copy is the same. And then if you look at the second ad here, complete your application for the ultimate summer job, right? So you can see here, like literally very similar ad, just changing one variable at a time. And you can see here examples from Bella, Barnett, testing different ad copy for the same image ad. Another brand, obsessed with the stunning outfit, like the image ad, very simple. Another variation here. Right, the same image, just different ad copy. So that's literally that's how you do it. And so your test is now completed. So after testing all of these variables, you should have the best variables for your winning creative. And if you guys have any questions, this is the basis of all of the testing, like that you want to do initially with your business, with your ads. And if you guys have questions, I'll answer those right now in the chat. So you can drop your questions on the creatives. You can drop your questions on the on testing the variables, and I'll help you guys as much as I can. And yeah, please just drop creative on Instagram so that I can share these presentation with you. I can send with you some SOPs so that you can start putting together some great creative strategy to help you scale with your business. All right, so I have some questions here. Do you test multiple angles against each other to see which one resonate the most and focus on this one and scale it? Yes, 100%. Once you identify the winning angle, you kind of like want to start building on that angle with different variations, different actors, different scroll stoppers. And so you kind of like initial task is usually like identifying that winning angle. And once you have the angle, it comes down to the how many creatives, how many variations you test in order to multiply that success. Thank you for the question, Tommy Lee Bastien. Hello, how to get products from AliExpress to customers in Brazil. Brazil is a little bit tricky market. We have some people in our community that do sell in the Brazilian market, and I would have to find out. I think it's cash on delivery, so it's a little bit more tricky to sell in Brazilian market. I think you have to import. There's some regulations that you have to abide. But for example, other markets in South America. Someone asked question here about the like CPMs. You see Daniele Veterato lowering the CPM during testing because in the USA they're often high CPMs. It's a big problem. I mean, for a lot of people, because you have to, if you think about it, like you have to compete with all of these people that are also selling similar products or in the same category. So if you're selling beauty products, you're competing with everyone selling beauty products. If you're in jewelry niche, you have to compete with everyone who's selling jewelry products, right? So CPM, especially in the United States, they're higher. But the advantage that you have is, let's say, if you're, let's say, from Germany, or you're from Italy, or you're from South America, is that oftentimes in your local markets, you can have a lot of success. We have some members of our community that are operating in South America, very low CPMs. They have like $1, $2, $3, $5 CPMs. They have very low cost per click in those markets. And so that's how they're getting the initial momentum. And then once you get that momentum, once you accumulate, the cash flow, once you have some capital, then you can start exploring and expanding to other markets that are more competitive. But the competition, let's say in South America or some countries in Europe, is very low, right, compared to the United States. So you can get a lot of traction initially. You can make a lot of money, and also the level of the creatives that you have to test in those markets wouldn't be that high. So I would highly recommend, if you are in the from some of those countries like South America, Europe, Asia, to explore your local markets and identify what is needed for you to operate in those markets. Now, some of the markets will have cash on delivery model, which means you have to import products in bulk, or you have to find the supplier that is locally selling those products, and you have to get products from them and send them to your customers. Like, let's say in South America, there is this company called Droppy, and they allow you to pretty much, they handle all the fulfillment for you. They handle many of the aspects of logistics for you. All you have to do is just import the product from China, for example, send it to their warehouse, and then they will be sending it directly to your customers. Someone asked if this is e-commerce. Yes, it is e-commerce. Drop shipping. Initially, that's the model that we love the most. We call it lean e-commerce brand, where you start with a drop shipping model to validate products. Once you have the validation, you can start investing in the inventory, and you can start building a brand around it with custom packaging, faster shipping times, and you can start expanding within one of the niches. I like niche stores the most because they allow you to expand with a product line that is kind of like congruent. So let's say the person buys one product, you can always sell them second product, third product. So there's more products that the same person can buy if you are operating within the same niche. And it's a lot harder to do if you're selling different products. If you're selling today, you're selling pet products, tomorrow you're selling gadgets, day after you're selling beauty products. So I recommend for everyone to just stick within the same niche. Another great question from Mohammed Imran. Always a great question for you, my man. Hey, Alex, if I were to do advertorials, which awareness stage would you recommend? Targeting unaware market would require a lot of budget. If I got $500 to $1,000 to test, which stage is better? I would definitely go after product aware or solution aware market, and then just differentiate your product from all of the other options that people are considering. So let's say if you're selling skincare product, your ads could talk about like why most skincare products don't work, right? And then pretty much on that, you can start building the argument why your product is better than other products on the market. So that market is easier to get sales in. That will allow you to get the initial traction. And once you have some capital, you can pretty much start expanding, into like more competitive markets. You can start do more of the education, and you can kind of like move up the awareness stages. Some great questions, always great questions from you, Mohammed. So let me see here. I sent you creative in the DM. That's awesome. So some great questions here on Instagram. Please, I want to know how to get influencers don't cost too much. So influencers is something for that you can start leveraging. I would recommend always like to start with like paid advertising, unless you, again, if you're in the less competitive markets, let's say you're in the South America, you're in Europe, Asia, even African markets. Like if you can send products to influencers there, just give them like a free product, ask them to post about the product. Usually the influencers that have between like 5,000 and 100,000 followers, they might be just posting product for you for literally just the cost of the product. You don't have to pay them. If you're going for the creators and influencers that have audience already, they will want to charge you like a few $100s or sometimes even thousands of dollars for one post, story, or reel in order to get your product shared on their social profiles. So I would recommend to start with micro influencers. There's different tools that you can use for researching those. You can also search by hashtags. Let's say if you search the hashtag beauty, you search the hashtag dog or dog food, you can find a lot of different people that are posting on certain topics. You can see how many followers they have, and then you can start your outreach. There are also some tools like Incense that will allow you to get get that momentum as well. Another great platform that I would recommend is called Trend.io. Let me share it here in the chat. This is a platform that has many different creators, UGC creators, Trend.io. You can test it out for yourself and see, what kind of creators you can get there. Overall, if you think about it, I always like paid advertising because it's the most scalable. If you find something that works, then you can quickly scale it. And in this particular store where we went from $0 to $1 million, like literally in 30 days, that's exactly what we did. We just focused on paid advertising first. Then as you have budget, you also can invest that budget into influencers to build more of the brand identity for your product, for your store. You can get more content sourced, but as a starting point, I would recommend to use paid advertising. Should testing be the same regardless of product? Yeah, the biggest variable, Bilal Asaguru, thank you for the question. The biggest variable when it comes to testing, it's just the type of the creative that you're testing. Let's say if you're selling jewelry products, you can get away with just images. If you're selling more complex product like supplement, gadget, something that requires more education, most likely you will have to use videos. But having like combination of both videos, images, carousels, so you can hit different segments of the market is the best. That's what we have found. Where some people will just see the image ad and will buy from that. Some people will see the video, they'll watch the video, they'll get pre-sold on the product, they'll buy from that. So you always want to have different variations of the content. Do we need to create advertorial of product aware, solution aware stage, or we can create good video ads, image ads, send them to product page? This session or go thank miss them. Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Great questions, as always, from you. Thank you, my man. So, advertorial for product aware, solution aware stage. Advertorials help. Advertorials help a lot because they give you that extra edge over your competition because you can keep the attention for a longer period of time. If you're just sending traffic to product page, then you don't have a lot of ammunition in order to sell your product. So what I have seen recently is that all of the brands that are successful, they're using either landing pages, they're using advertorials. There's only few of the brands that are still doing very well sending traffic directly to the product pages, but the only reason they can do that is because they advertise on some other channels, and Facebook for them is more like a retargeting platform. So, for example, like Athletic Greens, if you look into Athletic Greens, they do a lot of podcast advertising, like YouTube, like all of these other sources. So then people just go to, Facebook kind of has tracking everywhere. So they see who's interested in a particular product or who visits the website. So if they go to the website, they click on the product, they land on the website, and then Facebook retargets them with a specific, ad that could be just an image ad sending product to the product page because they're already aware about the product, they're ready to buy it. So depending on kind of the amount of education you have to do for your product, that could be like product page if you already have advertising source or traffic source elsewhere. But most of the products you would have to do landing pages or advertorials if you want to have success on paid traffic. This is my observation over many different brands, our brands, other brands that I'm overseeing, and just seeing the kind of their what's working for them. Landing pages and advertorials is what pretty much almost must have in 2024. It's something, it's not even optional because you want to maximize the conversion rate. Pretty much every niche has substantial competition, and that is just something that you have to keep in mind. Let me get some more questions answered here. Where can I find this file? Just DM me, please. DM me creative, and I will send these files to you. I'll try to let me know if what type of supplier do you suggest to sell skin products? I mean, like Supplyful. The problem with Supplyful is that the margins that you will have, Supplyful is great for validation of your products. So let's say if you want to sell skin product, you probably will pay like $10, $15 per unit. and then you have to pay for the shipping price with platform like Supplyful, which means the cost of your product will be $15-$20. And so that is something that's not feasible. I mean, you'll have to sell that product for $50-$60 in order to have good margin and still be able to advertise and acquire customers. So you can use Supplyful for validation. Okay, so you test the product is selling. It just your margins will be pretty low because you're paying so much for the product itself. Once you got that validation, I would move away from platforms like Supplyful. I would get in touch with suppliers directly. There's suppliers in China that can do skin products. Many of the skin products, many of the creams, many of the shampoos, like many of these products are still manufactured in China. Big brands like L'Oreal, like Estee Lauder, like all of these big brands, they still have manufacturing in countries like China. So that is something that you can start utilizing to start with. So you can reach out to your supplier. If you guys need the list of suppliers, we have suppliers that can source pretty much any product. The only one limitation, if you source these products from China, the product packaging, the product bottle cannot be more than 100 milliliters, right? So it means that you only can sell like kind of like smaller bottles, smaller like packaging. You cannot sell, let's say, supplements. You cannot ship them from China, sending them by air. So you have to import those products in bulk to your warehouse and then ship them directly from there to your customers. So there's some limitations that you have to just like understand and keep in mind. So that is a good question. Best of mobile games. What about CBD and hemp space? Facebook doesn't allow to advertise. So how to go around using advertorials? There's many different ways that you can do it. There's a company called Braz. I don't know if you're familiar. They sell this, I think, THC infused and mushroom infused drink. They sell it pretty successfully on Facebook. They sell it pretty successfully on other platforms as well. You can get away with it using advertorials. You just have to choose your language very selectively. You have to remove all of the keywords that say THC, and pretty much words that could trigger, or CBD. That's something that can trigger the algorithm. But there's definitely ways around it. Companies are making it work. You probably just want to kind of like reverse engineer some of these brands. Yeah, Brass, exactly. And Brass, they're doing extremely well. Very smart founders. Very successful company. Very fast growth. You can just look into their ads and kind of like reverse engineer how they're operating. So I have another question here from Dellers. Can a great VSL improve conversions to a product page? I would test it out. Like I'm personally not a big fan of product pages, right? And sending traffic to the product pages, because it is something that, kind of, in my perspective, like if you're sending traffic to the product page, person loads the product page, they see the price right away before they even see the benefits of the product and what it can do for them. They see the price and they're trying to justify why they should pay that price. Versus like with landing pages and advertorials, you sell first and then you show users the price of your product. So you have a lot more ammunition in terms of selling the product. But if you use VSLs, you can definitely test it out. I wouldn't exclude that option. You can test it out, sending traffic to the product page, see how it converts. Another combination that you could try is utilizing very simple image ads, sending traffic directly to the like advertorial, right? So the selling in that case, there's a little bit of selling that happens on the image ad, right? There's only so much that you can sell because it's not a video, it's not a VSL. You send traffic to the advertorial. That's when you sell your product hard. And then only on the second or third page of that funnel, the users would see the price. So before they see the price, they've already been pre-sold a lot on your product. and they will be able to buy that product at a lot higher conversion rate, because they're already seen all of the benefits. They're kind of like pre-sold, and then they see the price. Okay, the product can help me with X, Y, and Z things. So at that point, they're very like motivated to buy. So that's how I would approach it. So these are some of the Daniele Veterato, another great feedback here. Yes, exactly. It's the same for Printful. The prices are too high. It's just for testing and validating. For skin products or supplements from China is dangerous. Skin products are actually fine from China. Again, many brands are manufacturing their skin products, including big brands. They're manufacturing their product in China. Sometimes I stay in hotels, and these are like pretty expensive hotels. They have nicely branded packaging for shampoo, for conditioner, that when you come to the shower, you have shampoo, conditioner, like all of the basic things that they have in a bathroom. And then you turn it around and you look, okay, company, let's say it could be like brand from UK, or brand from the United States, or brand from France. And then you see in in the small font, made in China, right? Or manufactured in China. So skincare products can be manufactured pretty well, like in China. They cut up with that. They have great factories. They have great manufacturing processes. Obviously, you have to keep in mind what kind of supplier you're working with, whether they're doing the quality assurance, whether they're touring the factory. Like this October, we'll go to China to basically visit our factories, see where some of our products are being manufactured. These are legit big factories that have good equipment, they have certifications, they have everything that products need, pretty much, in terms of the requirements. The quality of those products is great as well. Customers are very happy with them. For supplements, it's a little bit more tricky, because there is even more regulations and people consume it internally. So supplements, I would probably stick with US manufacturing, some local manufacturing, depending on which country you're based in. But for skin products, if some of these biggest brands in the world are manufacturing their products there, then maybe you should give it a shot too. And the prices will be like very, very affordable, like few dollars per unit. Obviously, you have to import it to ship it from there, or the product is below 100 milliliters. You can send it directly from China to your customers. So that's what I would recommend. And again, if you need some good suppliers, I have some great suppliers that we work for a long time. I know how hard it is to find like good suppliers. Just DM me. Just hit DM on Instagram. I'll send you some of the suppliers that we work with. These suppliers do quality assurance. They actually go to the factories to verify the quality of the products. They're making sure that all of the certifications you need, like FDA registrations and stuff like that, are present, for those factories, so that you can safely sell those products and also have great margins. So just DM me suppliers, and I'll share these contacts with you. It took me a lot of time to to find these, but I'll share them with you guys. Best of mobile games. Is it dumb to create an ad set for each creative and then have the same body copy for all of the creatives? Create an ad set. I mean, that will make your campaigns very complex. I would have an ad set, and inside of it, I would definitely have several different variations of the creatives. Like I wouldn't do like this 1-1-1 campaign, ad set, and ad that would have only one variable. We always want to give Facebook like more things to play with. We always want to give Facebook more variables. Either it's a scroll stopper, different ad whatsoever. You always want to give Facebook those options, so that Facebook, based on all of the data that it has, it can pick up the one that is the most promising. All right. Is 7K enough budget to start Facebook ads in 2024? For sure. Like in my experience, right? Like if you already have some basic understanding of Facebook, or if at least if you're not super like aggressive with spending, on Facebook and you're learning fast. Let's say you do a test for a few $100s, and if it's not promising, okay, you pause it, you reevaluate it, you improve the creatives, you improve the ad copy, you do some more adjustments to your product page, landing page. If you're like conservative with your spending and you don't overspend, in my experience, it is $7,000 is enough. You also have to be like passionate about this in terms of like when you're testing different creatives, you want to make sure that you're making decisions like relatively quickly, right? So for example, if you're testing a creative and creative has like $3 or $5 cost per click, right, then probably it's not a good creative in the first place. Okay, so in that case, you want to pause it, you want to reevaluate it. Okay, why it didn't work, right? And ideally get feedback from someone who's like experience with e-commerce, right? So who can give you that feedback. So if you have a friend, if you have someone who's who's successful in e-commerce already, get feedback from them, evaluate, and pretty much get some adjustments based on that. One request: can you talk about Facebook compliance in one of your next lives? Like, it's okay to have before and after on my landing page, and also the copy with using you and yours, etc. Mohammed, great question as always. Thank you so much for dropping it. For sure, I think we can do one of the next conversations, one of the next lives we can do on that topic to help you guys overcome these challenges. I know how complex it is, and then you see some of the people that are getting away with before and after images, and then you try to use before and after images and you're getting banned. So the rules are kind of, they're all over the place. Some people getting away with certain things that other people do not. And I'll try to give you as much kind of examples, and also give you like a lot of guidance on that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'll definitely do that in one of the next live sessions. What are your favorite scroll stoppers? Favorite scroll stoppers. My favorite scroll stoppers usually are predicated on the copy, right? Like what on the hooks, right? So hook is pretty much the words that you're using to get someone's like attention. And I have this list actually of, I think, 79 hooks, right? So that let me just read to you some of those, because there is so many different ways that you can sell the same product. All right, so here I have different. Oh, actually, let me see if I can drop it to you here in the chat. Like, for example, if you haven't tried XYZ product, watch this. 3 reasons you need to try X, Y, and Z product. Don't buy, serum for your skin. Buy this instead. I tried every skin serum out there, and here are the results, right? So there's so many ways. Let me see here. I'll try to share my screen as well, so you guys can see them. Like, let me see if it's visible for you. The quickest way to solve XYZ problem: acne, right? Wrinkles, bloating, whatever the problem like your product is solving, like this one of the hooks that you can use. Little known ways to XYZ. This is the biggest mistake people make when trying to, improve their skin, right? Or skin elasticity. This is why your skincare serum doesn't work, is not working, right? Calling all ladies who are tired of bloating, low energy, inflammation. Like, you can just insert the problem that your product is solving here, and that's literally, you have the whole kind of hook here. POV. I tried this product for 7 days. Here's a tip from professional I don't know, skincare dermatologist, right? That can help you to XYZ, right? Solve the problem that your product is solving. Why is nobody talking about X, Y, and Z? Right. So these are just 30. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Like these are some of the literally these are some of the hooks that you can start utilizing right away. And let me just see if I can drop it here for you in the chat. Yeah, it will be a little bit tricky, guys. If you can drop me DM on my Instagram, just DM me hooks, and I'll send this whole document to you. I'll drop it here on Instagram. I don't know if you'll be able to open it. I just dropped the whole document for you. Like there's so many different hooks, so many different ways that you can sell literally the same product, just different hooks, different scroll stoppers. So in my perspective, I mean, hook is kind of like the words that you use, right? Like how you getting person to watch in the first 3-5 seconds, and then scroll stopper is the video footage that you use, right? That's just my own definition. That's how I look at it. And Trey Styles, thank you for your online live coaching advice. Thank you so much for joining, Trey. Thank you so much for watching. Which apps do you use to build advertorials, landing pages in Shopify? I mean, I like Funnelish. It's a great platform. I mean, it's not perfect. It has some bottlenecks. Specifically for Shopify, you can use Raplo. Raplo will allow you to replicate pretty much the best landing pages that other businesses are using right now. You can use Gem Pages. You can use Pagefly. They have a lot of different templates, right? They have a lot of different templates that you can utilize in order to sell your product. So these three platforms, these three specific apps, Raplo, Pagefly, Gem Pages, those are the ones that I would recommend. Some people like Zipify landing page builder. I mean, I think it's okay. I don't think it has evolved with time, but some people having success with that too. So Raplo, Gem Pages, Pagefly, and if you want to get like more complex and if you want to have more flexibility, then Funnelish will get you good momentum as well. And just DM me hooks as well. Like if you want me to send some of these hooks, right? The whole document with you. I don't know if it's accessible here on chat. What's your opinion on product dupes in fashion? Product dupes. I don't know if you mean like knockoffs, and I mean I don't know what you mean by dupes. If it means like replica products that are counterfeit, I'm not a big fan of that. That's how you get issues with Facebook. That's how you get all possible problems. I know some people are doing that and somehow getting away with it, or they just constantly create new ad accounts to advertise those. I'm personally, not in that line of business. I don't like it, but that's my opinion on that. What problems with Funnelish? All right, what problems with Funnelish? I mean, like with any software product, there's always some bugs, right? Sometimes integrations break, sometimes orders don't synchronize with Shopify. Sometimes the page loading is too slow. So there are certain things that are happening that can happen to you with platforms like Funnelish, but that applies to any like landing page builder. Sometimes Shopify is down, right? Like it happens like very rarely. Their infrastructure is extremely solid, but sometimes it happens as well. So the same issues that you would have with any other platform or any other software product. Would using a Shrine Team landing page be enough to test the landing page, or would you go straight to Funnelish? Dellers 321. Great question. I would go, Shrine landing page, test it out, see what your conversions look like, see what your average order value looks like. And if it's profitable, try to scale it. If it's not profitable and you're very confident in the product because there are other people that are selling that product successfully, then I would probably go either to landing pages or advertorials to improve the conversion rate and to improve the average order value so that you're more profitable and you can advertise successfully. So that's what I would recommend. What to do if there was ROAS 2 and now for a week holds 1, the creatives are fresh, just conversion rate fell by half. That's the nature of paid advertising. In my experience, it just like averages out. Also, if the creatives are fresh, but maybe they're not good enough, right? Maybe they are not getting the emotional response from people. Maybe they kind of not talking the language that so not all creatives are created equal, right? Not all creatives are created equal. That's I think the core principle. Some of the creatives, even they're fresh, brand new, sometimes they just don't convert. Also, what might have happened to you, team on push, is someone might be advertising aggressively with the same product and possibly with better economics. Like maybe they have a better funnel, maybe they have better creatives, and they're just pushing you out of auction. So the way Facebook works is an auction system. So if someone has better metrics, let's say someone has better conversion rate, someone has like better average order value selling the same product, then you're basically competing with that person and you're trying to beat them, but they're beating you because they can spend more to acquire customers. So they're winning more auctions and they're spending more on ads. So Facebook gives them even more auctions. And that's pretty much the dynamic. It's a competitive environment. So you have to kind of like evaluate the whole landscape of who you are competing with and see how to beat them. Team and push. Another great question here: how to make VSL? VSL, the starting point for VSL. What I would do is literally reverse engineer some of the successful companies that are already using VSLs. That will allow you to pretty much kind of like get the initial like understanding. You can then take that same script, kind of like follow the same structure, rewrite it for your specific product, and that's how you get into like VSL game. Now you have to just kind of keep in mind that VSLs require a lot of footage, a lot of B-roll. Some people are stealing content, from other people, which can get you into trouble. So don't steal content. Try to produce your own unique content. Like for example, for us, when we are working with creators, we're always asking them to send us at least 10 or 20 pieces of B-roll, which means a piece of B-roll like person sitting on a bed, right? Piece of B-roll person is like waking up and like seems like very tired or frustrated. If you're selling, let's say, some health improvement product, piece of content person is like super happy and holding the products, like super excited, right? So now you have many of those different pieces of content that you can match according to your script. So if your script says, I was my energy was super low, I was super drained, then the piece of content that you have that's matching that would show the person like kind of like very sad and tired, and that's how you match those to communicate your message properly. Top hustler here. So I meant, for example, underscoring your text was an image, for example, showing a horrific acne pic while saying these are 3 steps I used to defeat acne to also get the eyes hooked. I don't know what was the first part of this question. Let me see here. Yeah, sorry, I don't see the first part of the question. Top hustler. Mohammed, you were always told that we need to sell at least 3x. Say if the landed cost from CJ is 16 and we sell at 48, but then we see the same product on Amazon that's listed at $24.99. How do you go about it? It's a great question. I mean, if everyone would buy products on Amazon, we would have no business. And we do have a business, and a lot of successful stores have a business. Athletic Greens, that is a brand that's selling their product the premium price. And there's like, if you go on Amazon, you can probably buy the same product like greens for like third of the price or a fourth of the price, right? So you never want to be competing on price. Competing on price is simply not sustainable long term. The only people that can compete on price are people that can directly source the product, maybe Chinese manufacturers, because they don't have any middleman, right? They're just getting the product, they have their own products, they keeping cost as low as possible. Then they're shipping those products to Amazon, and their price is just simply very low. And they might be making like 5% profit margins, but they just like reinvesting everything back into the business to get their listings ranked. But that's not the business you want to be in unless you have the competitive advantage. If you have that, good for you. But if you don't, like, you want to learn how to position your product as a premium and how to sell it at a more premium price. And there always will be people who are selling the product at a lower price. It's just inevitable. It's just nature of the game. You just have to learn how to differentiate your product specifically. Maybe it's with, better funnels, better advertorials, better landing pages, pre-selling why other products that are available in the market are not good and your product is better in some respects. And that's how you compete with those people. That's how you sell your products at a premium price point. How do I know, Anida, how to know to stop advertise the product? So how to know my audience is saturated? Audiences usually don't saturate if you're solving evergreen problem. Let's say if I don't know what kind of product you're selling. um, Usually for most of the products, if you're in the pet niche, there's literally millions and millions and millions of pet owners. If you're selling health products, there's like tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people even that can potentially buy your product. If you're selling beauty products, there is millions and millions of people that can buy your products. Like, so most of the times it comes down to the not to the audience saturation, but to creative saturation, right? So maybe your creatives are simply not good enough and you have to level up your game. And that's why I do this presentation today, to give you guys some insights on how we do it. um, Great advice from Tommy Lee Bastien. You should include one free gift and also an ebook to give it even more value to customers to justify the difference in price, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a great piece of advice. Yeah, you just have to create better offers, um, which pretty much means to say, if you buy two products, you get one product for free, or if you buy two products, you get two products for free, depending on your unit economics, depending on the margins that you have. As Tommy said, yeah, it could make sense for you to utilize, some of the free gifts, maybe like a private community for people, maybe like like ebook or mini course that you can pay someone to create. Let's say to educate people on how to improve their skin, what foods they can eat in order to improve their skin, what foods they should avoid to improve their skin, maybe some exercise routine that they need to do in order to improve their skin. So there's many different ways that you can package into the value stack of your product in order to increase the perceived value. And once people see, wow, okay, so I'm getting, two of these products, I'm also getting two products for free, and I'm also getting this free gift, and I'm also getting all of these ebooks, and I'm also getting like this like mini course. So now the perceived value of that whole offering is a lot higher than what they're paying for it. And once people make that conclusion for themselves, that's when they, pull the credit card out of their pocket and they pay you money, and you get cha-ching on your Shopify store. Timon Push, Timon or Timon, thank you for your answers. Thank you so much for your questions. Great questions. Where to get UGC? Is Instance good? We use Billo, but it is too expensive. I like to use, all these platforms, they're good for different purposes. I'm not a big fan of Billo. Incense is good. I love Incense. The one that we use quite a lot, it's called backstage.com. These are literally actors, right? So they can say what you ask them to say about your product. You can give them scripts. They can record those. They can record B-roll of them, like using the product, as I just explained earlier. And so you get a lot of content for your money. Like that's a whole essence of the of utilizing that approach. You want to kind of like maximize. So most of the UGC, like most of the entrepreneurs that order UGC, they're just like, okay, create one script about this product or create one ad about this product. And you're paying them, let's say, $150 to $200. When we are doing that, instead of just asking them for one product, we're asking them to record, let's say, 5, 10, 20 different hooks at the beginning. Like, this product changed my life. 3 reasons why I dropped all of my skincare products and use this one, right? 3 tips for better skin, right? And so, like, let's say you have all of these different hooks, and I shared with you guys a document with all of the hooks that you can use. And so now you have hooks, now you have the body of the ad, and you also can ask them to do b-roll, right? So 10, 20 pieces of b-roll, so that next time, let's say you're editing your videos, so your video editor edits your videos, they have plenty of your own content to work with. They don't have to, steal it from someone on the internet. They don't have to steal it from your competition, so you have less risks. And that's the approach that I would recommend. And I'll just answer this one, guys, and I'll have to go. What is the step 0 of a good market research before even knowing the problem and the target audience? Step 0, identify the problem. Identify like what problem you want to solve, right? For me, the problem's usually beauty, health, pets. And then within those niches, you have to just niche down what kind of other like problems within the problems, like sub markets within the bigger market. So let's say in beauty, it could be acne, it could be wrinkles, it could be like sagging skin, right? There's many different sub niches, sub problems within the bigger problem that you can address with your product. And that's usually when I start like digging deeper, okay, what are the best products on the market that are solving this sub problem that I can learn from? I can see how they advertise, I can see their ads, I can see their websites, I can see what kind of products they're selling, and that gives me great idea on what to focus on. What's the name of the UGC provider? It's called Backstage.com. It's a great platform with like 700,000 actors in the United States, which means you have plenty of options of the creators. You have older ones, you have younger ones, you have ladies, you have men, you have younger men, older men, younger ladies, older ladies. You have plenty of selection of who you can utilize. Tommy Lee Bastian. Okay, so I'll answer this one, guys, and I'll be wrapping up. I mean, amazing questions. Thank you so much for joining. In your advertorials, is your product page at the bottom of the advertorial so it reduces friction, or do people have to click on a button that will bring them to the product page? Very, very good question, Tommy Lee Bastian. I like to have it on the separate page, but you can also, I would test this too, right? It's something to always be tested. Sometimes we have it on the same page and it converts better. Sometimes we have it on the second page and it converts better. So I would just test both of these. For us personally, sending them to the second page or to the product page after the pre-sale page works better. Elijah, you're the man house. Thank you. Appreciate you, Elijah, for joining, for commenting, for asking questions. Appreciate you guys for joining in, and for asking all these questions. Let's if you guys can DM me on Instagram. So my Instagram, my Instagram is Alex Fedotov. It's 3F at the end. So yeah, if you could just shoot me a DM so I can send you these resources from this live. Thank you, Tommy Lee Bastian. Thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for tuning in. And just hit me DM, DM me doc, right, so that I can send you this document with all of these resources. I can send you the hooks. I can send you pretty much, I want to share with you like all of these things that I shared today that will help you to just streamline that creative process. If you guys need any help with your business, I'll share some resources, see how I can help you. And yeah, I appreciate you guys so much for joining, for tuning in. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And have a beautiful rest of your days.